horror is leaning into harsher worlds, intense encounters, and more punishing survival mechanics. These upcoming titles focus on relentless threats, disturbing settings, and high-stakes gameplay. Let's jump right in. OD Knock is an experimental psychological horror project directed by Hideo Kojima that builds its design around primal fears, especially the anxiety of an unseen visitor or sudden knocking sounds. The game uses first-person scenes and performance-driven vignettes with actors like Sophia Lillis, Hunter Schafer, and Udo Kier. It runs on Unreal Engine 5 and uses cloud technology to support a narrative that can shift events. Players move through dark corridors, light candles, and face hostile figures.
Six now. 6 survivors of Raccoon City, all dead from the same thing.
Resident Evil Requiem places players in a survival horror scenario based around the aftermath of the Raccoon City incident, where FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft investigates a mysterious death at an abandoned hotel while Leon S. Kennedy tracks a new series of killings. Gameplay combines combat, investigations, puzzles, and resource management. Players can switch between first and third-person views, manage limited supplies, search locations, and fight infected threats across connected storylines.
What do you mean?
He grabbed you for a reason. Did you find anything on Opus?
Not yet. Nothing on the servers of the CIA or the Pentagon.
You are an ignorant fool.
Leon, we're running out of time.
Why me?
The team has settled on a person of interest. A former T-virus researcher.
Because my master made you who you are.
Raccoon City was where it all began for me.
I'm coming with you.
We can talk. What do you want to know?
I don't want any more regrets. Whatever it takes, count me in.
It's been a while since you've been back there.
Yeah.
Daughters of Hortus, to these blessed halls of Porthbarrow.
Ritual Tides is a first-person, Lovecraftian folk horror game set on an isolated island off the coast of Cornwall, where a survivor wakes on a beach with no memory and must uncover the island's secrets. Players move through dark forests, abandoned chapels, and coastal ruins while avoiding a cult known as the Parish and Grotesque Former Humans. Gameplay uses stealth, inventory puzzles, and limited weapons, with unusual combat situations and strong environmental storytelling.
Change in plans. You shan't be entering the garden today. Take heart, faithful ones. The garden must still be tended. And tonight, you will be sown!
The Occultist is a first-person narrative thriller where paranormal investigator Alan Rebels travels to the abandoned island of Godstone after his father disappears. Players search foggy streets and ruined buildings, face supernatural entities, and uncover occult rituals. Gameplay uses a mystic pendulum with 5 mechanics to interact with objects and alter the environment. Progress comes through stealth, puzzle solving, and paranormal investigation, with direct combat avoided while managing threats across the island.
You've spilled. Every secret you've hidden.
Crisol Theater of Idols is a survival horror adventure set on the cursed island of Tormentosa, where a soldier named Gabriel must complete a divine mission. Combat revolves around using his own blood as ammunition, forcing players to balance attacks with their remaining life. Players fight enemies, solve puzzles, and upgrade blood-based powers and weapons. Progress requires careful resource use while uncovering the island's cults, rituals, and living statues across its ruined towns and religious structures. Forest 3 is a first-person survival horror sequel that moves the series to an alien planet after a spaceship crashed through a portal. Players land on a dark, wet, and hostile environment filled with mutated creatures instead of cannibals. Survival uses advanced tools such as a scanning device, a mounted robotic arm, and possible energy weapons. The setting is cold, swampy, and organic, with threats including tentacled monsters, bat-like creatures, and strange living trees. Nazralath: The Fallen World is a third-person dark fantasy action-adventure with RPG elements, where players control a fallen knight named Orpheel, who awakens in a ruined temple with little memory of his past. The game uses story-driven progression, dialogue, and player decisions that shape events and relationships. Players move through surreal, occult locations, interact with characters, and uncover narrative details while advancing through combat encounters and role-playing systems. The Twilight Project is a third-person survival horror game about a tourist who becomes trapped in a forgotten village cut off from the outside world. As night falls, reality shifts, and hostile creatures begin to appear. Players search for clues, solve environmental puzzles, and uncover the village's history while managing limited resources. The game includes a day and night system, safe zones, and trap building to defend against attacks from cursed villagers and supernatural threats. Shiver is a point-and-click horror adventure set in Windy Oaks National Park, where the player becomes stranded while traveling to visit their aging father. The game uses classic point-and-click mechanics, with players searching areas, collecting items, and solving puzzles to find a way out. Progress comes from careful observation and item use while uncovering the park's strange history and the events that led to its sudden closure.
Cover itself up from the fearful cold. The shivering came more quickly upon me. I was losing my battle with the frost. It was creeping into my body from all sides. A good idea, I thought, to sleep off to death. Freezing was not so bad as people thought. There were worse ways to die. And I was right. There are worse ways to die.
Hello?
Aphelion is a third-person sci-fi action-adventure set on the frozen planet Persephone, where astronaut Ariane searches for her injured partner after a crash landing. Players move across harsh terrain using tools like a pathfinder, oxygen tank, and grappling hook for traversal and survival. The game alternates between Ariane's parkour-style movement and Thomas's investigation segments. Stealth sequences require avoiding a hostile life form while gathering clues about the planet and the mission.
Mission Control. The Hope 1 shuttle has crashed on Persephone. I lost contact with Dr. Montclair.
Hang on, Thomas. I got this.
Oh, shit.
I'm not alone.
What the hell?
It's stalking me. Crap, no! Oh, no. No, 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 no. Mission Control. Anybody
They copy. Holy shit. What are you?
Recent flooding and pandemic, access to all external areas is restricted.
The Sinking City 2 is a third-person survival horror game set in a flooded version of 1920s Arkham, where players move through submerged streets, ruined mansions, and dark alleys filled with eldritch threats. Combat uses firearms against creatures such as Deep Ones, Mygos, and Cultists. Gameplay includes inventory management, optional puzzles, and backtracking to newly opened paths. Players also search for clues across the city to solve side mysteries and unlock different outcomes. Ill is a first-person action survival horror game set inside a research fort overrun by a mysterious entity and the creatures it creates. Players fight unpredictable monsters using firearms and melee weapons, with a dismemberment system that reacts to each attack. Realistic physics affects both combat and puzzle solving, while enemies respond to the environment and player actions. Survival depends on weapon maintenance, inventory management, and crafting items during tense encounters. Halloween is an asymmetrical survival horror game set on Halloween nights in 1978, where players either control Michael Myers or take the role of Haddonfield residents. Matches use a 1v4 format, with Myers stalking targets through stealth and shadow-based abilities. Survivor players search for items, warn neighbors, call the police, and arm NPCs to create patrols and defenses. The game also includes a single-player mode that retells the events of the original film from Michael's perspective.
A Pacific submarine station has gone dark. Last report suggests miners dug too deep and may have uncovered something they weren't meant to find.
Cthulhu, the Cosmic Abyss, is a first-person investigative thriller set in 2053, where occult investigator Noah is sent to a deep-sea mining station that has gone silent. With help from an AI companion, players move through the submerged city of R'lyeh, gather clues, and solve complex puzzles. The game includes branching narrative paths, sanity pressure from cosmic entities, and encounters with creatures while uncovering the cause of the disappearance.
Welcome to Pit Station, Noah.
What the hell happened here?
Bringing me to where you are.
What
All this.
This is strange. It doesn't feel right.
Crathos Deep is a narrative cosmic horror adventure set in the freezing depths of the Arctic Ocean, where players pilot a submarine to investigate a lost research institute. Movement through the seabed uses the submarine for long-distance travel and an expeditionary drone to enter tight spaces and abandoned facilities. Players gather clues, solve environmental problems, and reconstruct the events behind the station's downfall while navigating dark ocean terrain and managing the drone's mechanical limits.
Two of the bottom of the sea. You may discover things down here that clash with your view of the world. Fate distance yourself from. If, or rather, when that happens, I must simply urge you to keep out.
Simon, listen to me.
Silent Hill Townfall is a first-person psychological horror game where Simon Ordell returns to the island town of St. Amelia to uncover his connection to its past. Players move through fog-covered streets, evade threats, and use a limited set of weapons and tools. A handheld CRT television helps tune into unstable signals and reveal hidden details. Progress comes from tense evasion, sudden combat encounters, and narrative puzzles that uncover the town's buried events.
I woke up in the water again. But this time it's different. I keep trying to fix what happened. But no matter what I do,
You can't fix it. It doesn't let us change things. You did what you did.
Lords of the Fallen 2 is a standalone Souls-like action RPG set 100 years after the events of the previous game. Combat uses deliberate melee and magic systems against powerful enemies in a harsh, dark fantasy setting. Players travel between two parallel realms, including an expanded umbral world that changes the environment and enemy encounters. The game also includes online co-op, with shared campaign progression, optional PvP, and custom gameplay modifiers.